Hello, Carlos.
Hey, Anthony.
How are you?
Ooh, tired.
I'm exhausted.
I know.
I really am.
Yeah, it's like we don't see each other much right now because it's so busy,
Yeah.
right?
We both do our own thing. You know, we both work at times in the house. And today's one of those days where you are at the kitchen table and I am in the bedroom in our so-called offices.
Yeah. Well, you were having your meeting today and I was teaching a class over Zoom,
Yeah.
right? And I can hear you in the background and I'm trying to teach. And I'm
Oh,
like,
God.
I don't think they heard anything though.
I have to close that door.
And like, but it's fine. You know, I think I'm just really beat.
Yeah. Well, it's Friday. What is this, like your Wednesday?
What's that?
Is this like your Wednesday at work?
No, it's my Monday.
Your
My other
Monday?
job. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's my Monday at
Dang.
the other job. So yeah, today I go to work and I just worked today.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of used to it now and
Right.
not sleeping. I guess I work fine with sleep deprivation.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, no, it's been rough. It's been tough. Tough week.
Mm.
You know, I have the way this nursing program works, we have 7 units a semester, and this second unit is mostly me. 90% of it is me.
Whoa.
So it's a lot between creating exam questions and giving lectures and updating lectures and doing synchronous sessions and things like that. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And constantly, being ready to answer questions at all times.
Yeah. Your job, you really have to prepare.
Yeah.
I really don't have to prepare because, I got a new client this week, and, once I got all his information, I had to go meet him, the initial contact face to face. But other than that, all my work is at home, over the phone and, online.
It's still a lot of work, though.
It is.
Yeah, chasing people.
Yeah, there's still 2 more out there that hopefully I could polish it off tonight, if not tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I'm like chasing students for things and, they're chasing me for stuff. It's a lot. And then my other job and yeah, I'm tired. And this week, I don't know, my mood this week has been a bit on the gloomy side.
Yeah, I was going to say somber.
Yeah, the Super Bowl, right? I mean, first of all, we meant to record this episode earlier in the week.
Right.
We just didn't have the time, right?
Yeah.
And I was getting frustrated with it because I didn't want to miss a week.
Yeah.
And it was going to be like, oh, let's get it out on, Monday. And then, no, let's get it out on Thursday.
Yeah.
And now I'm okay if I get 1 episode a week on whichever days the shit falls on.
Right.
Right?
The Super Bowl, I feel as though it took a lot out of me.
Yeah.
Emotionally and psychologically, man. It was draining to see them lose in that fashion.
Yeah, I know. And I didn't, care that much about football until recently,
Yeah.
And I learned that people should be happy that the Patriots made it as far as they even did.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what made me sad really was, I was happy about the halftime show. It was fantastic. I thought Bad Bunny was magnificent.
Genius.
Oh, it was so good. And it was so nice to see, people getting together and celebrating love, and that's his message, right? The only thing that you could fight with hate is with love or something along those lines. I forget what he said, and how he tried to unite America. And of course, in my little brain, being an American, I made the assumption when he said, God bless America, he was just talking about the United States. But no, there's North and South, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole hemisphere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
you talked about love and hate. People aren't born haters.
Yeah.
They're taught to hate,
Yeah.
which sucks.
Mm-hmm. And it's
Really
so,
does.
and my week started out that way, and it kind of dragged on like that because, again, maybe because I'm tired and I'm overworked,
Yeah.
But it was sad to know that there was another show at the same time.
Spitefully.
Yeah, and it's called the All American Halftime Show, which I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, that's just hate.
Yeah. Continue to divide us.
So hateful, and it's,
Continue to
divisive.
divide.
And it's so wrong, right? Because Bad Bunny, American,
Yeah.
right? Because other Super Bowl shows in the past, halftime shows, a lot of them were performed by non-Americans, and it
Yeah.
wasn't a big deal.
Right.
Right. But now, people are fucking spinning out because it's in Spanish.
Yeah.
But for fuck's sake, man, that's not nice.
Yeah. U2 performed at the Super Bowl. They're from Ireland.
That's what I'm saying. There's
Yeah.
so many acts that perform that, Rihanna, right? She's not a citizen, put on a fantastic show yet again, right? There are others too that I can't.
Oh, no. Like, for
remember.
instance, Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah.
He draws a crowd from around the world, and people don't understand what he's saying, but they love the music.
Yeah.
They love the music, and they didn't even give Bad Bunny a shot that way. They just closed-minded just because of the hate going on around it.
And I hate it. I hate that.
Yeah.
It made me feel sad
Yeah.
for him. But I hope he doesn't care.
I don't think he does.
Because that halftime show was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And it was in Spanish, and my Spanish is shit. But then again, Puerto Rican Spanish and like Dominican Spanish, I was told, even people who are fluent in the language, and if they're not from those areas, they might even have difficulty understanding him.
Yeah.
Right? There's words that are used on the islands, that other places won't use. They have their own words in Spanish. But I was still jamming to it. I was still dancing to it. How can you not?
Yeah,
move
well,
to that?
I never heard of Bad Bunny until the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of his name. I had no clue on, what type of music he played. But like, I never paid attention to any of the hype. I wanted to watch the game. And, I always loved to watch the halftime show, and I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no, like, I didn't have to be open-minded. I didn't even go down that road,
Yeah.
it was just, for me, it was just like watching another Super Bowl halftime show, and I loved it.
And that's what Americans do, right? They watch the Super Bowl if they're into football. But sometimes when they're not, and Bad Bunny is American, you assholes.
Yeah.
That were like, go back to Puerto Rico. What the fuck, man?
That's
It's
sickening.
just so hateful.
Sickening.
Right? So it made me feel a little bit better that this TPUSA show did not do well. Fuck them. And like that's just so hateful. You knew what you were doing. You know what you're doing, right? Like I just, that started my week. And I couldn't shake that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And like today I saw you crying. And I don't know why. Well, I do know why.
Tough morning. When my wife found out that I was messing around with men, I went through the divorce, and I didn't know I was gonna basically divorce my kids. I didn't divorce my kids, but the feelings that they have towards me, they of late, like they don't really, like we text, back and forth, but I try to FaceTime my daughter today. It was about close to 9 o'clock, and I tried to get her before her day started, but she didn't answer the FaceTime call. And I asked the question, why aren't you answering my call? And, I got back I had an old boyfriend that used to say that, and it, it sent up flags, What was the word she used?
triggered.
Yeah, triggered her. You know, and she called me dude. Listen, dude. Like, I'm your father. Like, where is this coming from?
Yeah, and I
You
and I
know?
don't know the whole story,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I
know.
played a part in it, you know. Through the divorce, I've said some things that may have been hurtful, but, you know, it was in anger, you know, and it is what it is. So maybe hopefully someday they'll, you know, come around and, you know, I want them in my life, but they're making it real hard for me. They're making it very hard for me.
And so this happened right before my lecture was about to start this morning.
Yeah.
And I was so upset to see you like this. And I was already feeling kind of low all week, you know? And then this made me feel even worse.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was sad because I couldn't be there for you.
That's okay.
And
I know you were there. You were there.
I mean, I felt bad too because I was like, Anthony, you can't be like that. Like, they're adults, you know, mid-30s, late 30s. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they have lives. You can't, you know, and we've talked about this. I've always said, hey, you can't manipulate them either to talk to you.
Right.
Right. And I've always said that, you know, you're the dad, you know, you have to keep trying. You know, you've admitted to me and to a lot of people that you said some things that you feel like you can't take back. I mean, you can't. It's already said, you know. And if that might have been what impacted it. And there were moments that you even said like, oh, you know, their mother is feeding them shit. And I'm like, no, you can't speculate that either. And even if she is saying shit to them, again, they're adults. They can make their own mind up.
Yeah.
Right? And it's none of our business, none of your business, none of mine, you know? However, you showed me the text messages after my lecture because I asked you how things went. And, you know, after my lectures and after my meetings, and then I saw your face and then you picked up your phone and then I was like, no, you can just tell me and I'll tell you something. I kind of wish you would have just told me because what I read set me off.
Yeah. No, it did.
I was so fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for the things that I said, but I should say that, you know, like, I'm sorry, Anthony, but your daughter's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I said a lot of choice things, you know? Fuck
Deservingly
her.
so.
She's a cunt. Like, I don't want anything to do with her if that's how she is.
Yeah.
The lack of empathy there, you know, accusing you of triggering, like you're some dude. You know, like, you're her father. Like, there's no triggering anything from what I, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know that for real, you know. And I'm trying to be sensitive to that because most of the content that I teach in my semester right now is in psychiatric nursing. So I teach all the psych content.
Yeah.
Part of my teaching load is teaching at the clinical site as well, you know, in a locked unit at a mental hospital. So I'm paying attention to these things more because I have to brush up on them and then know them and understand them and talk about things like trauma-informed care and schizophrenia, you know, like things of that nature. And I'm trying to be sensitive, but I was so angry that I couldn't see past that.
Yeah, I was startled when she would say, you know, dude, you know, calling me dude. I'm like, you know, whoa. I said, you know, I'm not a dude. I'm your father. You know, I think she did that to rock my world. Like, I don't know. I don't know if this is repairable. It is like, I want to repair it, you know?
Yeah.
And I believe my son does, but, you know, he's glued to the hip. You know, it's his older sister. You know, they have each other.
As it should be. They're siblings.
Yeah.
That's the best thing that you can wish for them.
Yeah.
Right? That they have each other.
Yeah.
But I was so angry I wanted to cry.
Yeah.
And then I started to text whoever would listen. I texted my brother. He was in a meeting. I texted the two ladies that I work with at night.
Yeah.
You know, my ladies, my colleagues. We talk about everything. I was like, well, I can't really talk right now. Thank you. Because this has to do with Anthony and his kids. And of course they were like, oh, are they being douchebags? And I was like, yes, precisely what they're being right now.
Yeah.
You know, at least the daughter is. But I talked to my brother who talked me down, and he was like, you don't know what all happened.
Right.
It's really none of your business, is it? And I was like, you're right. It broke me to see you broken, and I didn't like that.
I love you for that.
That hurt me so much, and it made me so angry to the point that I was like, fuck her.
Yeah.
And if she ever pulled that shit in my home, I would be like, get the fuck out of here right now.
Yeah.
You don't do that. There's a time and a place for that. But then my brother was like, you can't be like that.
Yeah.
And he's right.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
I really don't know.
You said things were said.
Yeah, I don't remember what I said, I don't remember where it unraveled between us. I really don't. When I got divorced, not only, did she find out that, I was online with men, but she knew that I had an affair with a woman. I was all over the map, and I fucked up. I fucked up royally.
What did you say? Do you remember?
I don't. I really don't. I ended up moving in with the girl, and she had a son, and I was engulfed. With, with her. And I don't know if time went by and I didn't, keep in touch with my kids on a regular basis. But then I remember I did talk to them, texting. They wouldn't answer my calls. And I was like, fine, you guys want to write me off? When I fucking die, don't even come to my wake,
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, that's, And and my ex has a boyfriend, and I was like, "Fuck it, I may have said let him walk you down the aisle." I might have. I don't remember. It was 4 years ago.
Yeah,
I really don't remember.
We say a lot of things when we're angry.
Yeah. But you know what? They weren't calling me. And I was getting angry that they weren't keeping in touch, because one of the last things I said, when I left the house, my daughter was already in her own apartment, but my son was still home. And I was like, keep in touch, please keep in touch. And, I thought I'd, hear from them, during the week or whatever. And time went by and, the communication wasn't there.
Yeah.
Just wasn't there. And then COVID came, and I couldn't see them during COVID, and all that shit. But, here I am now,
Yeah.
I'm filled with guilt, shame, remorse, but I'm heartbroken.
I know you are. And that, boy, what an end to the week.
Because, my marriage ended. But I never stopped loving my kids, I never stopped loving them. I was a great dad. Those, my kids never wanted for anything. Mm-hmm. When they got their licenses, materialistic things the love was always there. I did, me and my wife did everything for them. When they got their licenses, they each got a brand new car. I was in the car business, and I got good deals. I leased them both. They went to school with new cars. They always had food and clothing and everything they needed.
Yeah.
We were a family unit. The holidays were outstanding. Plenty of gifts under the tree. Lots of laughter and love and.
Yeah, it sounds like,
but
it was good until it wasn't.
Yeah,
and they might still feel anger about the divorce.
Yeah,
and what happened to their mom.
Right.
And that's valid.
Yeah, but something, my wife tortured me. She had my girl's telephone number. She got it off my phone, and she tortured. Constant, to the point where I'm going to go to the courts and get a restraining order on her. It was brutal. And she would do it, when she wasn't working, she'd be home on the couch, she'd be drinking, and she got liquid balls. And then she would, probably call and text the kids and, feed them bullshit. And, it just got ugly. It just got real ugly.
But man, it's a complicated situation for sure. There was infidelity.
Yeah.
And not with just a woman, but with men too,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I know you're a different person now, but you don't sound like you were that different from then.
Mm.
Like, I think you're a loving guy, and
Oh, absolutely.
well, I know
I
you
love
are.
deep. I love deep.
You do. I see that. I feel it. But that's heartbreaking. It was hard to see that today.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, did anything come up? Did something happen?
Yeah. And I was a great dad. I coached, Little League with my son, hockey. We played catch, and I taught him how to ride a bike, all the fatherly stuff, vacations, no, there is no perfect dad, but, I was a good dad until I wasn't,
Yeah. Yeah. But let's not get that confused, right? You were maybe always a good dad. You just weren't a good husband at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not that you were a bad dad. You were a bad husband up to that point when that happened.
Right.
Okay. That was a bad thing. Okay. But then what happened after that with your kids, you didn't stay in touch with them. I don't know if you tried reaching out. I don't know if they've moved on without you now.
Yeah, I don't know how I lost touch. I really don't. Like life went on,
Yeah.
and I really don't,
I would imagine that all the decades that you spent with your ex-wife.
Yeah. I dated her for 10 years, was married for 33, so that's 44 years,
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like
that we were
that,
together.
just because, the infidelity that you committed, right? You still ended the marriage. I'm sure there was a lot of guilt with that.
Yeah. Well, she asked for the divorce, It wasn't so much with the girl, because I got caught, and then I broke it off, and my wife and I were doing okay. But then, my wife, she couldn't get over the guy part, she really couldn't. She kept asking me what's going on, and I just couldn't spit it out. I really couldn't spit it out. And, then finally I did, and then that's when everything unraveled.
Yeah.
Everything unraveled at that point. But something? When she found out that I was back with, I strongly, I can't prove it, but, we were having sex one night, and I noticed 2 thumb marks on her thighs. I says, "What's this?" And she said it was from spinning exercise class.
It could have been.
I doubt it. I doubt it. It looks like she was pinned down, with the thumbs.
Stop it.
There were 2 perfectly. How could spinning do that?
Because it's a fucking bicycle seat.
She's been spinning forever, and all of a sudden she has 2 thumbprints on her thigh.
No, stop. Come on. Don't.
Well, maybe I'm.
You can't be making this.
Creating a scenario.
This
maybe,
is what we
but
talk about when you're speculating stuff.
I hear
you can't
you.
be doing that. You don't have all the facts.
That's where my mind goes. You know why? Because maybe that's the way I think.
And maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because of what happened with your kids today. Like, I went ahead and Googled, like, why do my kids, and then Google filled it in, why do my kids hate me?
Oh boy.
As if Google was spying on us
Yeah,
all
I'm sure she
fucking day.
was. Yeah.
Like Siri does.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's this, article about how to handle that. Your adult child resents the way you parented them. Here's how to handle it. All right, it's by Nicole Spector, but it's an article from 2019, and she lists 10 steps. And we kind of talked about this too, because I would love to see you have a relationship with them. You know, I know that they know about me, and you know, I'd love to meet them one day. And I'm not expecting anything.
Yeah.
You know, like it would be nice if they were cool with me and I was cool with them, and you know, I'm not expecting anything.
Right.
You know, I don't know what I'm expecting.
You know what's going to change that dynamic too? If you do meet, you know, when you do meet them,
Mm-hmm.
the piece where you worked with,
Again,
you know,
we did not know each other at the time.
no, I realize, yeah, no, I know that it was years and years, 10 years after the fact, you know, but you know, she's going to tell them, your father thought I was cheating with him, and he's gay, and now he's with him.
Oh.
What a fucking coincidence.
I
What a coincidence.
I know. But again, you know, you cannot speculate, read the future.
You're right.
Can't, you know, like I'm trying to be as calm and open-minded about this whole thing. Because what I try to remind you of is that, you know what, they are adults. They have lives.
Yeah.
Okay. And they have a right to that. And you can't interfere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they get to do what they want now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's, you know, it reminds me of the song, Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So this article says, step 1, listen without interjecting.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just like I've been saying, you know, hear them out. Right? They need to be, you know, heard. They need to be understood. Right? Step 2, don't correct your kids' stories. You know, you can't be like, oh, it didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
They'll tell you how it happened. Even
Right.
because right now you're having a tough time remembering. Right? You don't remember what was said.
Right. Yeah.
It was in a rage, probably.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure, you know, if a parent said that to me, what you said to them, I would probably not want to see them again either. Honestly. Actually, it did happen. Right? Step 3, be compassionate if your kid is reactive. They're literally channeling their inner child. And you know, I said today, when your daughter, I was like, now you're acting like a fucking child. You want to be treated like a child. That was me being angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course she's going to regress back to that. Right? You were her dad.
Yeah.
And then this happened.
Yeah.
I get that they were adults, but they were younger adults at the time. You know, I was kind of a shithead in my 20s. I wasn't very bright. You know? And you experience the world with different eyes in your 20s than you do in your 30s, 40s,
Right.
and your 50s.
Yep.
You know? Oh, man. Step 4, apologize in a way that is validating.
I have many times.
I know you have.
You know, I made my amends.
But you say that, but they don't accept
Yeah.
from the sounds of it. Right? So it's, I guess you just have to keep trying, you know? And I do say that you're the dad. You have to do this.
Yeah.
You know, they're the kids. You can't expect them to do this. And plus, you're the one who caused it, right? So, not trying to make you feel bad. Just,
No, you've been nothing but support.
you just have to navigate it this way
Yeah.
based on what happened, right? The 5th step is don't condemn yourself. Even the best parents make mistakes. Okay. Didn't see that coming. I should have read the article first. Shit. Okay. So I know that I keep reminding you, but I think it's worth reminding you that, hey, you did this. Now you need to work it out.
Yeah.
You have to be patient. You have to keep trying. Even though they're not ready, you know, you got to keep trying until they are ready. And they might never be ready.
Yeah. But you know, no matter when, where, why, how, I'll be here.
You know, I mean, you didn't show up for them during COVID or before that, after the marriage. And and it probably felt like you didn't love them anymore.
Yeah.
Step 6, let go of expectations of how your kids should respond. Wow.
Yeah.
Right? I know you have in your head that you've moved on. Doesn't mean that they have from
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be tough. But you got to keep trying, Anthony.
No, I know.
Got to keep trying. Step 7, don't accept abuse. This is hard because I feel like this article has contradicted itself a little bit. It almost sounds like take it, and don't take it.
Yeah.
Right? It says, it's like, you got to apologize. In a way, it's validating. It said before, be compassionate to their reactions because they're channeling their inner child. I mean, yeah, but it says here, don't accept abuse, But it says here, your child may be emotional and, as mentioned earlier, highly reactive, but that doesn't mean they can be cruel to you. And I felt that she was cruel to you today. That's what made me angry.
Right.
Because the way that ended, I was like, don't even respond. Because the way it sounds now is that I don't ever want to see you again or hear from you.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like.
Right.
But I don't want to be getting in the way of that because, like my brother said, it's none of my business. It's between you and them.
Yeah. In God.
Yeah. And then step 8 is to forgive yourself. So you got to be compassionate to yourself about this. Forgive, but you can't forget. They're not going to let you forget anyway.
No.
No.
But
I know it ended with like me saying to you earlier, after I cooled down and talked to my brother, I did say that, it's, I'm going to support you either way. If you want to reach out to them again, it's fine. I'm going to support you whether you reach out to them, have a relationship, whatever. I'm going to support either way.
Right. Yeah.
It's important to me that you are happy. I don't like to see you broken. It really, really fucking bothered me today.
Yeah.
And I already felt kind of sad this week as it is, because of all the craziness that's going on in the world and how people are being whitewashed and straight washed and every sorts of washed. Everything, all these things that are being washed, including those fucking Epstein Files.
Yeah.
Okay. And the sane washing too.
Where are they? Where are the files?
I think that Pam Bondi's got them. She's the AG after all.
Wow.
But
wouldn't you love to, wow, just think, you think Trump read them?
No, that man doesn't fucking read. Stop.
Well, I mean, he chose her. I'm sure that, she said, Mr. President, you are fucking in here.
Yeah. Well, let's get to there. But before we get to there, I want to.
Is it, do we get to there or get to that?
When we get to that, when we get there.
When we get there.
Yeah. But before we go there, I did want to talk about cheating. Because interesting that we're talking about infidelity.
Yeah.
Because you asked me about mine earlier in the week. And this was after feeling like shit with like Bad Bunny getting bullshit, from the other side. And, you asked me this and I'm like, where is this fucking coming from? This has just been the week, so of course I dove into that. And what came up was the cheating differences in gay and straight relationships, So what I've learned really quickly is that the definitions are different, obviously, for infidelity or with fidelity. Gay couples are more likely to negotiate non-monogamous rules early on in their relationships, while straight couples often rely on traditional strict monogamy.
Yeah.
Right? So gay relationships are more complex. We do it differently. I guess between two men, you're able to, we're able to separate love and sex. Right? And I don't know why that is. I know for me, I don't know if I'm built that way. You know, I don't like the idea of sharing you with anybody.
Same here.
You know, like it's kind of a hard no for me.
Yeah. It seems, it maybe at the beginning, you're getting to know each other. It's all about like, the sex part. And then, when you finally, and when you fall in love, bringing somebody in between your relationship, it seems kind of dirty.
What do you mean?
It's, having sex with a third,
Yeah.
It's just, it just seems kind of dirty.
Well, I mean, I don't think we're talking threesomes here. I think this is more like infidelity. Like if you,
Right.
Have an agreement that you're not going to do that, and then you go ahead and do it.
Oh, then you get an issue.
Then it's like a violation to the other
no
person,
doubt, yeah.
right? So then it becomes you fucked up.
Yeah.
But you did ask me that, and I was wondering why.
How did I ask you? Right.
The way you asked me was, you were like, so when you were with in your marriage before, or maybe like any time before, have you ever cheated on the other person?
Mm.
And then I looked at you because I was like, where is this coming? And then
No, because I'm still curious on how gay relationships are. Like if it's cool to hook up without letting your partner know, do you consider it cheating? I don't know any of this stuff.
I guess we kind of navigate based on our own compass.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I've never been with a man. I did cheat on my wife.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, right? And I'll take it way back. Like my wife and I were together since we were 14.
Yeah.
We got married at 25. But when we were going together for about 3 years, and I just picked up like a notebook that was on a little black book, and it said Johnny Starts in the book, and I knew who Johnny was because I didn't have a car at that time, and one of the kids in the neighborhood, Johnny D, had a car, and my girl, who ended up being my wife, her and her friend lived in another neighborhood, and they would get rides home from Johnny, and Lisa was Chris's best friend, and this kid Dennis was Johnny's best friend. So, they would take off. Here I am thinking they're getting a ride home, but I found out that she went over his house one night. So, and like, I broke it off with her, for about 8 months. Then we got back together, but I don't think I ever lived that down. Like that rocked my world at a young age. And like if that never happened, I don't think I would have ever cheated on her with a woman. I really don't.
But the bottom line is you would have still cheated, right?
Right, yeah.
Because there were men there.
Right, yeah. I had that piece of me, So yeah, cheating is cheating.
And we did
guess,
this.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Cheating is cheating.
Yeah.
Right? It's
But
still a violation.
I really never got over that. Because I loved her so much, and like I was blown away when that happened.
Yeah, yeah. And you already knew this part about you though, but you never acknowledged it.
No.
So that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
That you went ahead and still went on with it, even though this was there. Like, did you think it was just going to go away?
I put it on the back burner for a long time. I knew it was there. I knew there was a pilot, but I never turned up the gas.
Oh, that's a funny way to put it,
Yeah.
Anthony. Jeez.
Oh, well.
But anyway, this study that I found, it's from this person from 2025, November 4th, 2025. His name is Carson Milnaric. It's in Queerty, the name of the the article. And basically what he's saying here, that there was a study that found that straight men get primarily jealous of sexual infidelity, while gay and bi men and their female counterparts were more jealous of emotional infidelity in a relationship. Interesting, right? So straight men get jealous if it's physical, and gay and bi men and females are more threatened by the emotional infidelity.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting, right? And that, he goes into the differences and stuff, but I just wanted to highlight that. I mean, I can go on with the article, but I don't want to take up too much time on this.
Yeah.
But I guess for straight men, they would have that urge to, because they want to procreate. Mm-hmm. So of course, I would imagine that a physical threat would be there, right? Getting physical with somebody else, you're gonna have someone else's babies. What the fuck?
Right.
Can
you imagine?
Whereas, two gay men, can't make any babies. So or two lesbian women can't make. Well, they can make babies, but
with a guy and a woman, you can't get pregnant swallowing either.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Anthony! Come on. God, give it. Leave it to you to
You just had to slide that in there.
Yeah, of course you did.
God, I'll tell you. We're doing our studio version here a little different today. Carlos is sitting. Normally I'm sitting, but my sciatica is kicked in today, and I'm standing at the microphone. And my God, I'm in pain doing this tonight.
Still going on.
It's still going on.
Yeah,
it's relentless. It's exhausting.
It's kind of weird though, because you're standing up and I'm sitting, so I'm looking up at you, and it's kind of taking me away from the mic. And then you're swaying back and forth, and I'm like speaking to the mic.
No, I'm trying to keep my hips moving.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's working right now is movement, which is good. That's a good sign. But anyway, that was the only thing I wanted to share with cheating. But yeah, so back to your Epstein Files. So the craziness that we're seeing right now, right? Pam Bondi getting the grill, the grilling of her life from, I guess, is it Congress, the Senate, whoever's on that panel. And she's very defensive.
What's going on?
She's getting grilled to the point that, some of these people on the panel, like Senator, I think he's the Senator, Ted Lieu. I forget where he's from, but he basically was like, you just perjured yourself. You said that there was no evidence that Trump was in these files, but yet here's a video of him with Epstein at a party,
on the island.
And then he was asking, were there little girls there at this party for this sort of thing? And Pam Bondi didn't answer the question, of course. And she's like, this is ridiculous. Should be focusing on.
Then she got caught.
Yeah. And he was like, well, you just lied under oath, Yeah. And something like that, I mean, she attacked people back. It was bananas. The whole thing was really wild. I couldn't understand what was going on. But what got to my brain too was this didn't just happen last month. This thing
going on 4 years, isn't it?
Oh, decades. This goes back decades.
Right. No, right. But it's just come to light within the last 4 years or so.
I don't think so. I think, people called the FBI.
Yeah. Well, since he got arrested is when it really, blossomed. How long ago was that? 4 years ago, wasn't it?
Oh, I think it was longer than that.
Really?
Because he died almost 10, right? Something.
Has it been that long?
My timeline is all fucked up. I don't know.
Mine is too.
The bottom line is this. This shit, this fucking trafficking has been going on for decades, and complaints were made, and Pam Bondi said something like, where were you when Merrick Garland was in my position, or something like that. And she's not wrong. What the fuck did they do? They caught wind of this information too. Nothing was done about it.
Right.
So these poor people suffered. These poor women suffered all this time with this, So, and I think I get that, she's, she had access to the files now, and then they redacted the shit out of these files and released them in clumps, and things came up and things were taken out.
You know what blows my mind?
What's that?
There's over 1 million pages.
Yeah.
Like, what was, like, there's a library. He was documenting everything.
Yeah.
Like,
it's almost as he was, blackmailing them all.
God.
Right? He was his plan B to be, I don't know, just to hold on to whatever. But that whole thing was crazy. And I just, something needs to be done.
Yeah.
We need to do something about this.
You know when the files will come out? When Trump dies.
I don't know.
When Trump dies.
I think they're going to try to bury them forever because,
Yeah, like they did with the JFK files.
I think it's too late for that. Some of the stuff got out already because, I was talking to my brother about this. He was like, "Oh, did you hear the latest thing?" And I was like, "No, what was the latest thing?" And he's like, "I think today or yesterday, some of the files were in PDF format. And then people found out that you can change the format. So like .PDF, you can make it .mov or .mp4. And then video files appeared.
Whoa.
Video files of Epstein in the prison cell.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So like this gets deeper and deeper. Okay. But what's crazy is that no one here in America is being held accountable.
Yeah.
And I made the mistake last week of saying they need to do something about this because as heartbreaking as it is, and I didn't mean that it was going to be heartbreaking to pursue criminals, okay, pedophiles. It's heartbreaking because there's names in there that you're like, why the fuck is your name in there?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, we talked about this, right? Like they could have gone to the island for a party and not partake in this bullshit, this fucking craziness.
Yeah, party, boating, fishing,
You got a bunch of rich fucking assholes that show up, right? They're all famous people and and you were there.
And then they had the wild parties.
Well, that's just it, right? So those people, if they knew, you should go down. But if they didn't know, should they go down?
No.
I don't know.
No, why should they?
We don't know, right?
Like you own an island. Anthony, come over to the island. Bring your wife. I got a little villa you can stay at. We don't worry about eating. We'll take care of all that. We have little parties at night. Dancing, and you're there for like maybe 4 or 5 days. And then when that one ends, then, a few days later, there's a wild party, Yeah. Those people that, went to the cool party or, a regular party shouldn't be hung for going there.
But I think that some of the opinion says that everybody should be hung for even showing up.
Wow.
I don't know if that's right. I don't know what's right. This whole thing is so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I think...
what the big question is?
What's that?
What did Epstein have for breakfast today?
He'd be dead.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. You're right. He might not be dead. I mean, shit, billionaire.
Right?
We did say that before.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are saying it. But the other thing too, I think a lot of this is distraction to the main part, being these people who engaged into the trafficking.
Yeah.
Take those motherfuckers down.
Right.
Right? Hold them accountable. Fucking send them to jail. That needs to be dealt with. And then start looking around more.
Yeah.
So whoever engaged, they need to go down immediately.
Right.
Because what's going on in the UK, for example, how we were talking about earlier, for example, the prime minister is under a lot of heat right now because someone that he appointed, right? The prime minister is not receiving heat from what I understand because his name was in the files, but someone that he appointed in his cabinet, his name is in the files, right?
You are what you sue.
Well, that's the thing. Like, did you know before you let this guy in?
Right.
Because if you did, that's fucked.
Yeah.
Right? Then you should lose your job as the prime minister.
Absolutely.
All right? I think this guy is going to lose his job, or he has already. Not the prime minister, the other guy that he appointed. I can't remember the names right now. But, people are being held accountable in Europe. Like your name showed up, you're going down. That's it. You're done. There are other examples, and I can't remember them right now off the top of my head. But the other argument can be made too. Like, if you were going to appoint this guy, you didn't vet him before you appointed him. Right. Like, you have all these resources, motherfucker. What are you doing? Yeah. Right? Like, how are you not looking this shit up? Mm-hmm. You're just like, willy-nilly appointing people, kind of like Trump was, and they're trying to say, oh, I'm appointing people because this is a meritocracy. That's fucking bullshit. All these people that were appointed in whatever higher up positions in our administration, like, I don't think any of them are really qualified to do the jobs. Yeah. I can say for sure as shit that RFK is not a doctor, not even a nurse, not even any of those things. Yeah. Not a physical therapist, never worked in healthcare from what I understand. Mm-hmm. And you're here making policy about vaccines and schizophrenia being cured by fucking keto diets? No, stop. Yeah. Right. So the whole thing is crazy. Okay. With like that whole Epstein thing, they just all need to go down. And, the ones that were involved in the trafficking, these women, they need some closure, because this is not right for them at all. It's not right. It is, there's morally something broken with America if people are getting away with this here, because they're being held accountable elsewhere. Like Prince Andrew, no longer a prince. Yeah. Okay. Like, you lost everything because you're given your association or your involvement.
How quick they moved on that.
Yeah. But how about those other people? Gates. Yeah. Right? Nothing. Who else? Musk. I mean, he wanted to go on the island. Yeah. Don't know if he partook in that. Right. And I don't know either way, you know? But again, I don't know how to think about this because it's so fucking crazy. I don't understand.
Totally bizarre. It really is.
Well, I guess we could cut it here.
Take a break?
We could say we're done with the episode for now.
Really?
Guys. Yeah, that was
God.
We'll wrap it up for today. Okay. We won't take more of your time. I think that's a good way to end. Please like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think about what I said or what Anthony said. All right, well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. A long way out. Ciao, mate.